Hello everybody, Anthony is here. In this video I will show how I made this particular design of headphones. This is a two-part time-lapse. First I will talk about the ear cups and then the headband. I also now publish like 15-second short videos on my Instagram. I haven't finished that little video yet, but it will be out in a couple of weeks on my Instagram. So again, check in the description if you don't want to watch it for too long. And I now got a new music by Tonebox. Also, if you like any tracks, the SoundCloud links are in the description. Each song is labeled there. Huge thanks to Tonebox for allowing to use their music for this video. So let's start. Okay, so here we start with just the sphere, and I start to cut it out with having a four-sided symmetry on XY, actually full-on symmetry on every plane. And I'm using the pose tool to just make it more of a capsule look, not just a circle. I'm duplicating it to have that pad. And now just making my out shell for the speaker. So here I played a lot with the shapes. So this is one of the earlier ones. Using just the pose tool and brush to get the right gradient, and then just scaling it up and down all the time. So you can get some interesting bells doing it in that particular way. But it takes you quite a few attempts, so I decided not to cut them out, just to show that you do this basic shape, but it's so important to get it right that you want to do it multiple times and try it again and again. So I was fairly happy at that stage with this particular shape. And this was like a rotated piece, to which I'll come back in the future, actually more to the end. Maybe more like into the second part of the video. Here I'm doing the cut from the other side, so I decided to have a bit of a slope like that for my main shape, and I'm doing the box height, so I still have that ability to unhide parts. Now I'm using my subtractive kit here, so you can see on the right side I have that on. Is the on brush settings, and this is the free kit. You can use it commercially for anything. Just it's available on my Gumroad. The link is in the description. And that kit can be used anywhere. You can use it in Blender, Maya, or whatever you prefer. And it really helped to do it. So here I'm doing the cuts. So those cuts, they intersect with that circle in the middle. And again, this is a fairly destructive thing, right? So I have to be really careful about what I'm doing, and I have to make sure that I like it before I proceed. Unfortunately, 3D code doesn't have live booleans. And you can see I'm cutting through. The thing is that I've extracted a shell in that part, in that capsule. And I really like that when I cut through, I actually get a little cut there at the bottom, like some kind of ventilation port, heat exchange, whatever. And I kept it till the end, actually. I thought it was a really nice solution. So I was trying to add a bit more complexity to the shape, so I decided to use this hide tool on the edges, in the corners, I mean, and then hit it there and I'm unhiding from the side. And yeah, every time I do something like this, I'm always like doing it, undoing it, checking it again. Never really sure if it should I keep it or should I try something else. The whole design here, the whole design idea was to make something really complex, because I've tried maybe like 12 variations for the headphones. And I mean, doing simple stuff, we might as well do it inside some Fusion or Alias, some software that allows you to do the CAD with more control over the bevel and major shapes. But 3D Code has a power more for this overly complex designs, where they're much easier to generate here than to do them in another software. So you can see what I had here. I had the backup shell, which I didn't stamp with these triangles. And then I hid the whole backup shell and then started to unhide certain parts. So then I can merge it all together and fix anything that I have. So this is what I do all the time. I have all these backup layers all around, and they help me to fix any issues that arise. And this is the power of voxels. You cannot really do it in the surface mode. So here I'm just keep on stamping with the other stamps, and I'm trying different ones. And then I'm jumping into the rendering room to see how it looks. So finally here I unhid the centerpiece of the backup layer. So now I can combine those two together and I'll get my final shell. And you can do a really flawless combine. Alright, so this stamp, another stamp. So all of them look kind of in place and good enough for me. So this is where it becomes hard, like which one to pick. Should it be just like indentation or holes or some other stuff? And I went with that little, I don't know, like a pod. My symmetry was often skewed, not sure why, so I had to reset the symmetry on the object all the time, because rebound it to the box. So I'm doing extra holes. And experimenting here with more like this empty frame design, but just didn't really look right, or kind of looked too much. So I decided in the end to make it more like a solid one. wasn't too sure about ports on the side, and then actually brought in a backup layer, like you can see here. So I have a backup layer, and then I hide the whole thing, and then unhide certain parts which I want to use as a filler for my final design, and then combine that backup layer with certain cuts with this final design. And this is really what I enjoy, just doing this big, hides. You hide it, the whole thing. Often it doesn't work out at all, but sometimes it gives you some cool ideas. Just swoop and hide. It just looked kind of too fragile, like say if it's some plastic it would break. Kind of ended up going for more of a metal design in the end, which not sure how heavy those would be. But I think I had this idea personally. I wanted something really durable because I had those big headphones. Few of those big headphones in my life, and they will all break on the joint. I was just had a fantasy about this fully metal design which wouldn't break that easy. Like now I no longer use the big headphones, I only use that eardrop ones, but if I decide to buy one I will look for some with proper durable headband, otherwise it just will not last. Doesn't matter what kind of reviews there, it just will not last at all. And by the way, I have this guy, I have my character sculpt. You definitely need something there in a place if you're doing something like this. Maybe a 3D scan would fit perfectly into the job. If you're doing because you can do headphones, you can do a helmet, you can do like glasses. I was thinking about sunglasses or gas mask. You just cannot do it without having an actual face in there. And I have a whole bunch of 3D scans which I bought, so I could have used that, but I'd rather use the stuff I've done myself. But I don't see a problem using the stuff you buy. And I have my older videos where I use 3D scans for simpler stuff. Like I did a little suit, it's really simple suit in 3D code, but kind of just was a practice. Right, so I did that little cut and then decided to change the depth of it. I also knew that it wouldn't really be that visible what's going on in there, because there would be a headband overlay. You can see here I have a green material. This green material was created from the orange material you can see on the right. And you can just change the color and have it. I really like this metal, automobile paint, car paint stuff. Again, when you pick a particular material, you start to think about the object differently. If it's a plastic one, you treat it as a plastic, and you design around it as plastic. When you turn it into metal, like here, you start to think, okay, it's more durable. I can have thinner walls. You start to treat it differently and imagine about it differently. Not sure what I'm doing here. I actually wanted to fix a little thing. Had a little defect on the rim, and I unhid a backup layer. So I managed to fix an arc on this piece using the backups. And yeah, though 3D code is really destructive, the backup layers, they can really fix almost anything. Though obviously they're not so customizable as the as if you have live bullets, and you do end up having a lot of backup layers. And if you end up with the heavy model, which I had kind of here, I also just at one point started to just delete all of them to free up just so it would run faster. But say you have a confirmed design and you just then say, okay, I'll just detail in it, and I can just delete most of the backups. Okay, so here I did the little, well, kind of volume control. And so you can see here, I'm just again trying different little stamps to see what would do better. And in the end, I just decided to go with simple round bumps like that. Then again, I'm just changing the size, checking how big that should be. And you can see that actual stamp for the button, it was my library. Again, a free subtractive mesh bullet kit on Gumroad. And at the end of the day, that library really made this design possible. I like the cut through the whole body. This kind of cuts. And you might have seen that it froze for a few seconds and actually froze for longer. I think it might have been auto-saving, but again, like this is, I'll go to the point where it started to freeze out a little bit. Not too bad, but I kind of have trouble running at when I go over 10 million triangles. It starts to, especially with real-time shadows, it starts to slow down a little bit on me. Fixing a little bit. Wanted to introduce that little piece, little wall. So I'm unhiding a cylinder from the front and then checking how it looks, and then I then combine everything and trying to smooth it a little bit just by hand with a smooth brush. I think I left it for the future, because I think I would do a universal smooth on the whole pad in the future. And I'm just doing like a hand smoothing of the middle line. That was a bit of evident, I mean, it's still there, but I was like, yeah, whatever. It's kind of not that noticeable. So this front piece was kind of too thin, so I made it kind of backup plate, and then use a pose tool to introduce extra like indentation in a second. Made a mistake, use the split tool. Now I'm using the pose tool and pushing it in, scaling it down. here I just playing with the materials. So I had the backup layer which I scaled down, and then I thought about having this, well, plate. So that kind of looked nice, but again, with it or without it looks alright. So I wasn't sure in the end of the day what was the best approach. I kept it to the end, but then I removed it for the final render. And then I used the 3D print materials. I really like them. They're new materials in the later 3D code versions. They're so nice. They just they're really bright, really saturated, and have a texture to them. And I use it here a lot. So trying to do like a cut through the foam. Kind of done. Then making the inside kind of thicker, and using just smoothing the insides by hand with a smooth brush. Did a little split for the front and smooth it out a few times. Alright, so that was the pad. And in the next part, I will talk about how I made the headband. Thank you for watching, and let's see you in the next video.